Recently, CarsGuide's had a presence at several major electric vehicle shows in Australia. Most recently, the Sydney International EV Motor Show just a few weeks ago. And I can tell you, this car was generating huge buzz with prospective buyers. It's the Zeekr 7X, a pure electric 5-door, 5-seat SUV, priced and specified to challenge the existing EV players in the premium mid-size SUV segment. And this car on test is the 7X Performance, twin-motor, all-wheel drive flagship sitting at the top of a 3-model range that also includes single-motor, standard and long-range rear-wheel drive variants.
So stay with us as we assess everything from price, features, design and practicality to efficiency, driving dynamics, safety and cost of ownership. Let's go.
The Zeekr 7X starts at just under $58,000 before on-road costs, rising to a little under $73,000 for this performance model.
At that money, the 7X Performance lines up against a diverse group of primo EV SUVs like the Cupra Tavascan, Hyundai Ioniq 5, Kia EV5, MG IM6, Skoda Enyaq, Subaru Solterra, Tesla Model Y, Toyota BZ4X and VW ID5. Not to mention its corporate Geely twin under the skin, the Polestar 4. But cost of entry is one thing. The number of included features for the price is another, and this car is properly loaded. For all the details, check out our written review at carsguide.com.au. But aside from the performance and safety tech we'll get to shortly, the highlights are Napa leather trim, 14-way power adjustable front seats with memory, heating, ventilation and massage functions, 21-speaker audio, 3-zone climate control, auto door opening, a panoramic glass roof and 21-inch forged alloy wheels. That's heaps, and there's a lot more. Enough to put serious pressure on the competitors mentioned. Like we said, go to the CarsGuide site for the full rundown.
The 7X was developed at Zeekr's Design and Technology Centre in Gothenburg, Sweden. And arguably the most distinctive feature on the exterior is this black band across the nose, with the LED headlights and DRL underneath. Now, if we were in China, those headlights would be matrix LED, and we'd also have the Stargate panel, which allows words to come up as well as digital animations. But guidance from ANCAP put the kibosh on that for Australia.
But there's still room to play with animations on the lights that remain, including musical accompaniment through internal and external speakers.
Other than that, the car's overall shape and proportions have a touch of Porsche Macan about them, this bulging midsection and racy 21-inch rims filling the wheel arches. There's a slim taillight bar across the rear, a concealed wiper up under here, which is in fact an integrated spoiler at the top of the tailgate, all contributing to a clean, smooth look. In fact, the car's drag coefficient is a slippery 0.25.
Inside, the fuss-free theme continues with a multi-layer dash design dominated by the 16-inch central media screen, compact digital instrument display and split-level centre console. And we'll get to interacting with it all shortly. Admirable restraint has been exercised in the simple surfacing and choice of trim materials, with enough decoration to add visual interest.
So, I can now tell you, you cannot see the front motor under this bonnet, but trust me, there's one under here and there's one at the back. Dual motor, asynchronous magnet at the front, permanent magnet at the rear. And they together develop around 500 kilowatts and peak torque is in excess of 700 Newton meters.
That amount of muscle is up there at the top of the category with the likes of the MG IM6 Performance, Tesla Model Y Performance and even the track-ready Hyundai Ioniq 5N.
So before we even get inside the car, let's talk about this performance grade's auto opening doors. These handles here are surplus to requirements. It's actually a press of the button or a swipe of the card if you prefer, and open sesame. There's pinch protection on the frameless windows and impact protection for the doors so you're not going to dent your neighbour when you're in the car park. After a week of push button experience, I can certainly live without that push button technology, but my significant other loves it. So personal preference reigns supreme.
At close to 4.8 metres long, the 7X is a large medium SUV, and the interior reflects its generous external dimensions. Plenty of breathing space and a bright open feel, thanks in part to the standard panoramic glass roof with power sliding sunshade.
In terms of practicality here in the front, you've got a large deep bin between the seats in the centre console, and it opens both ways, which is kind of handy. You've also got a large storage area underneath the centre console and a roll top section here with a couple of, just wait for this sound, not exactly great, but it may just be this car, with a couple of pop out cup holders in there. Big bins in the doors with room for bottles and other bits and pieces, so you can slide your bottle in here as well. And believe it or not, to open the glove box, press a button on the dash and there you go. Plus nifty little flip top compartments in the door armrests. And in a big win for parents loading small kids into car seats, the rear door will actually open out to 90 degrees. I'm in the back, and what you have are individual vents in the B pillars, which is nice. Then for storage, map pockets on the front seat backs, bins in the doors, again with enough room for bottles. Then a centre armrest that folds down with a lidded storage box and a pair of cup holders. There's also a little oddments tray in the back of the front centre console, and believe it or not, drawers, two of them under the rear seat, which is super handy. And for space, I'm 183 centimetres tall and I have just hectares of leg room, heaps of headroom, lots of shoulder room. There would be enough for 3 people, adults, across the rear here, and luxury of all luxuries, you can recline the seat by 10 degrees, which gives you that just added bit of relaxation. Very nice. And parents will love the occupant monitoring system. A camera in the top of the B pillar here allows you to just press a button on the dash, and lo and behold, no swinging of the head to observe the kids in the back. You just switch on the camera and you can check on them without any fuss.
With the 60/40 split folding rear seat upright, the 7X boasts more than 500 litres of boot space, which is pretty handy, and that number expands to nearly 2,000 litres with the back seat down. There's a load-through hatch, tie-down anchors, multiple bag hooks, specific lighting, a 12-volt socket, and 2 storage compartments under the floor. The height of the power tailgate is adjustable, but there's no hands-free function. Brake trailer towing capacity is 2 tonnes, 750 kilos unbraked, and it's worth noting vehicle-to-load functionality is on board. But there's no spare tyre of any description, with a repair inflator kit your only option, which in this market isn't good enough. The 7X boasts an 800-volt electrical architecture, which means on a 350 kilowatt charger, you can expect the 100 kilowatt NMC battery to charge from 10 to 80% in around 13 minutes. AC charging is a handy 22 kilowatts for 10 to 100% charging in 4 hours. Quoted WLTP range is 543 kilometres, and on test we saw average energy use of 18.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometres, which is in line with Zeekr's claim for the combined cycle, and more than acceptable for an EV of this size and weight.
So all that power and torque, around 500 kilowatts and more than 700 newton meters, makes its presence felt when you start to squeeze the right pedal. It absolutely lights up. This car is very quick, 0 to 100 km/h in a claimed 3.8 seconds, and it feels every bit of it. Suspension is by double wishbones at the front and a 5-link setup at the rear, and it manages this car's weight. It's about 2.5 tonnes. Pretty well. You'll occasionally get some lateral movement. You can feel the weight of the car, but you also have an air suspension with comfort, standard and a sports setting, and there is a discernible difference between each of those three. The comfort is really good in terms of the ride is smooth, little bumps and ruts make their presence felt, but it's nothing too dramatic. It's pretty good. Sport is quite harsh. If you're really keen on having a go at some stage, yes, but comfort is very much the go in my view. In terms of noise, there isn't much, which isn't a huge surprise given that this is an EV, but even in that context, this is a quiet car and it's refined. Virtually no wind noise, even up at freeway speeds, and that goes to the car's slippery 0.25 drag coefficient. The platform that this car rides on has a monocasting section at the back, which of course makes the car cheaper and simpler to manufacture, but it also stiffens up the rear of the car and you can feel it's pretty stable. Yes, a little bit of lateral movement every now and then, but in the main, very stable and composed. The speed-sensitive power steering is accurate. That's not always the case in EVs, but in this case, road feel is good. The big 21-inch rims are wrapped with low-profile Continental rubber, but they're quiet, which contributes to that overall sense of refinement, and they grip enthusiastically. So if you do decide to have a bit of a go through your favourite corners, the car remains composed and goes through them nicely. Braking is by ventilated discs all around with meaty 4-piston calipers up the front, and there are 2 levels of regenerative braking as well as a single pedal setting. And I would keep your eye on that single pedal setting. It's not quite as aggressive as many of them are. I'd see it almost like a 3rd regen level. It's not always pulling the car up to a halt as quickly as you'd like it to.
ADAS crash avoidance aids like lane keeping assist don't intrude unduly. There are subtle occasional vibrations through the steering wheel and only when necessary.
You've also got a 360-degree overhead view, which is really handy for manoeuvring, like in parking manoeuvres. But if you really need it, automatic park assist will do the job for you.
While there's a physical control for audio volume, things like exterior mirror adjustment, for example, is via a screen slider and a steering wheel control, which is overly complicated. That said, progression through screens and functions for media and car settings is logical and quick.
Under the heading of miscellaneous observations, an 11.6 metre turning circle is pretty handy for a car of this size and helps in those parking manoeuvres. The multi-speaker audio system absolutely cranks, and in this performance model you've got headrest speakers, which adds to the entertainment. We didn't head off highway with this car, but there is a ride height adjustment. It's all-wheel drive, so you can tackle dirt roads, loose surfaces. It's not for serious four-wheel driving, but you can adjust the ride height, which is handy. And it's worth noting the adaptive cruise control works nicely, especially in the sense that it picks up the accelerator quickly if you've fallen in behind another car, slowed down, and you want to overtake and go a little faster. It doesn't hesitate, it's nice and smooth and picks up the speed rapidly.
While the 7X hasn't been assessed by ANCAP yet, it's fair to assume a maximum 5-star result sooner rather than later in line with its Euro NCAP score. And crash avoidance safety tech is through the roof. 15 key ADAS functions covering everything from adaptive cruise and AEB to front and rear cross-traffic alert and lane keeping assist. There are 12 high-def cameras, 12 ultrasonic radars and a millimetre wave radar on the job. The airbag count runs to 7, including a front centre bag, and there are 3 top tethers for child seats across the second row, with ISOFIX anchors on the 2 outer positions. Suffice it to say, the 7X Performance sits on the top safety shelf.
The 7X Performance is covered by Zeekr's 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty, with 8 years 160,000 kilometre cover for the drive battery, neither of which are exceptional for the category.
But there's also 5-year corrosion and paintwork warranty cover with roadside assist included for the same period. Recommended maintenance interval is 2 years 40,000 kilometres with optional health checks in between. Stick to the basic schedule and you're looking at $1,755 over the first 5 years. Go for the complimentary first year service plus 2 other optional health checks, and the figure is $2,385, or an average of $477 per workshop visit over the same 5 years. Far from over the top for an EV in this part of the market.
The first thing that comes to mind in summing up the Zeekr 7X performance is value. So much standard equipment for the money. Stunning acceleration, top shelf safety, and a solid ownership package. It's also comfortable, practical, and the design inside and out is sleek. This EV SUV has thrown down a hefty gauntlet to challenge the existing EV players in this part of the market. And if you're looking at this segment, you should take a very close look at this car. Hao Che.